the channel. Welcome back to the channel. So LSU drops another game to fall to 7-5, 7-5, and they lose to Oklahoma 17-13. It was a defensive battle between the two teams. Oklahoma has I'm pretty sure Oklahoma has the best defense in the SEC, and it's definitely one of the top defenses in all of the country. And LSU has the number 6 defense in the SEC. So both teams have very stout defenses, but LSU falls short. LSU just was lifeless on offense. You saw to start the game, you kind of saw, well, you didn't kind of saw, you saw Harold Perkins get an interception. LSU gets the ball, in really good position. Van Buren rolls out and throws the ball right back to Oklahoma. And then that kind of started the defensive struggle. Oklahoma beat LSU in every stat except for rushing yards. So total yards, Oklahoma had 393 compared to LSU's 198. Passing yards, Oklahoma had 318. LSU had 113. LSU beat Oklahoma in rushing yards. LSU had 85. Oklahoma had 75. And Oklahoma had double the yards per play. So they had 6 yards per play. LSU had 3.6. Oklahoma had 14 first downs. LSU had 9. LSU was not very efficient on third downs. It was 2 of 14. Oklahoma was 4 of 15. No teams was able to convert on 4 downs. Oklahoma ran 11 more plays than LSU with 66 to 55 plays. So Oklahoma ran 66, LSU ran 55. No sacks was allowed. Oklahoma punted the ball 7 times. LSU punted it 9 times. LSU did beat Oklahoma in yards per penalty. So LSU only had 4 penalties for 25 yards, and Oklahoma had 8 penalties for 60 yards. Obviously Oklahoma threw 3 interceptions, and LSU threw 1 down in the red zone. Which is wild because anytime a team throws you 3 interceptions, you would think that the team that was, picking off those passes would win, but this wasn't the case here with LSU. LSU just couldn't, muster up enough offensive firepower to deny Oklahoma a spot in the playoffs. And so I was hoping LSU was going to be able to play smaller versus Oklahoma, but that was not the case. Congratulations to Oklahoma and that team finishing 10-2 in a regular season, and going to be probably more than likely going to be going to the playoffs. So kudos to them. This is Oklahoma's, I think, only second time or first time beating LSU in 5 tries. I forgot, but this is Oklahoma's first time beating LSU since they've been in the SEC, and then they played Oklahoma in the playoffs the year LSU won a national championship, and we know how that went. And so, yeah. But yeah, so moving on, what's next for LSU? If you're going to be 7-5, which I believe that's wrong. I believe LSU is going to be 7-6. I'm not sure. Let me see. I think they're going to be 7-6. I don't know, but it says it's 7-5. I feel like they're going to be 7-6, but they have they're qualified for a bowl game. So, they're going to go play the bowl game. I think that you should just start Garrett Nussmeier for the bowl game. And I say that because, the guy's leaving after this season, and Van Buren isn't up. He's not a significant upgrade. He does use his legs a little bit more. He's more mobile than Garrett Nussmeier, but there was a play where Van Buren could have picked up the first down. The game, this opportunity to upset Oklahoma, and he kind of ducks the contact. So Guess he's saving himself for the bowl game or the transfer portal or what have you. But I thought he could have picked up that first down, but he didn't. And it's just nothing fluid about the passing game or the offense in general is having me feel confident in Van Buren over Nussmeier or Nussmeier over Van Buren. So I just think we should just go back to Nuss and just tell Nuss to sling it. It's your last game, sling it. I think that's what they should do for the bowl game. That's just my personal opinion. I'm sure a lot of the fans are out completely on Nussmeier, but I just think that hey, you might as well just go back to him because you thought Van Buren was going to get his team a spark offensively, and it just hasn't been there. They asked Frank Wilson after the game, what did he think about his coaching future? And he said that, he would love to stay at LSU as long as LSU keep him. Lane Kiffin has not made an announcement yet. I just feel like Lane Kiffin is holding everyone hostage at this point, but Lane Kiffin has not made an announcement yet. If he has, I haven't seen anything yet. I got my second phone right here, waiting for, a notification. So I haven't seen anything yet, but I would hope that Lane Kiffin would keep Frank Wilson on the squad as a position coach and definitely as a recruiter, and maybe a few other offensive, assistants. But Brad Davis got to go for sure. Cortez Hankton got to go. And so, but I think that you should keep, on the offensive side of the ball, I think you should definitely keep Frank Wilson. And on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, I would say Corey Raymond. I'm not too sure about Blake Baker. I'm just not, again, in this game, the defense gave up 2 big plays, which allowed Oklahoma to score on 2 of those, defensive, assignments, right? They blew a coverage, and then, they just wasn't able to tackle, and which led to a long run and score by Oklahoma. And I just think that every game that you see LSU in, they they still give up big plays on defense. So I don't know. It's been a few games where, Blake Baker didn't have his team prepared for a dual threat quarterback. Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, you saw them get torched by Texas A&M. So, I don't know, kind of on the fence about Blake Baker, but I think you should keep Corey Raymond, and I think you definitely should keep Frank Wilson. But obviously Lane Kiffin is his own coach. If he decides to come to LSU, then he's gonna pick his own coaching staff, obviously, as if he comes to LSU. Very tough decision for Lane Kiffin. Very tough decision. I mean, all of the success that he's had at Ole Miss, he's probably gonna go down as Ole Miss. He's probably gonna be he's the best coach in Ole Miss history. They win the Egg Bowl. His team is getting ready for a playoff game, and it's a tough decision because if he goes to Florida or LSU, he's gonna have, his status as an elite coach is gonna get elevated way more. It's gonna be, he's gonna go down definitely as a legend because just the opportunities for facilities, financial backing, recruiting, all of those things is at LSU and Florida. Now they're saying Florida has pretty much said they're done with Lane Kiffin. I don't know how true that is, but everyone's pretty much saying it's down to LSU and Ole Miss. But obviously he is very much aware of what he's created at Ole Miss, but he's also aware of just how great of an opportunity LSU is to coach at. So he's taking his time, but I think they said he was supposed to announce everything today. And what time is it? It is 7:07, and he hasn't announced anything yet. So I feel like he's just holding everyone hostage at this point. But yeah, gonna have some tough decisions to make on what coaches he should keep. I think Frank Wilson has done a damn good job. It's not easy to step in as an interim head coach with everything that's going on around LSU, and just expect him to go undefeated for the rest of the season. So I think Frank Wilson has done a damn good job. The offense just isn't the offense is just very, very vanilla. It's just a bad offensive scheme, a bad offensive attack. Even without Joe Sloan, it hasn't been any better. So, I'm just happy. I'm really just happy that I'm happy that the season's over with. The regular season's over with. I just want to get on to this to this bowl game, see who the next head coach is going to be, and then just you kind of get ready for next season. I know I haven't made any videos lately, but it's just, well, for one, I was traveling in Florida. I had an opportunity to make, a video. I had all of my equipment with me, but I just didn't. I just had no want to make a video because it's just not fun when LSU isn't good, and it just seems like over the last couple of years LSU just cannot be consistent in winning. Right? We had we had some pretty back-to-back 10-win seasons. Some good 10-win seasons with Les Miles. Coach O come in. You know what happened with Coach O, national championship, all of those things. And then, you go from Coach O to Brian Kelly, and everyone was like, okay, LSU is going to be back, going to be consistent. And, this hasn't been consistent. And so since 2020, LSU has had 1 10-win season, which is, this is pathetic. It's LSU. And so you watch everybody else have success. The Vanderbilts, the Texas A&Ms, and Alabama constantly has Alabama constantly has consistent winning big games, even though Nick Saban has retired, right? You see Georgia being consistent, and then you have LSU who is on his second coach in less than 10 years, on their second coach in less than 10 years. And so, just terrible. Makes you not want to watch the product that's being put on the field. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this game. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Lane Kiffin is coming to LSU? Y'all let me know in the comment section. And until next time, I am out.